G'day and welcome back to the Larry Lakers. It's good to have you with us. Today on the Larry Lakers Dribbling Chit Chat show, there was a game between the Lakers and the Warriors. Sure, the Warriors ran out with it, but wasn't it a game? It was a fun game. The third quarter was something special. The Curry Reeves Prince show meant an early lunch for LeBron James. All of that and more coming up on the Larry Lakers Dribbling Chit Chat. Well, moving on, these are the questions from our viewers. You, the viewers, provide the questions. You can send them in to the LarryLakers at gmail.com. You can also put them on the comments right down here in the show. If you're going to do so, why don't you hit us with a like, comment, please do, share and subscribe. Don't keep this show a secret. I know a lot of people watch it, but it's good to get a subscription as well. Thank you very much for all of those following the show. Now our viewers have sent a question in. Why did LeBron get an early lunch there from Sean and Abby Takeaway? I guess if he's at a takeaway, he knows a little bit about early lunches. There was a hot start to three-pointers, according to D Styles, at the nation's capital. AD, has he found a corner three in the lost and found there from the bubble, says Tim Huggs at Destination Anywhere. Has the wood got any better there, says John O from Scotown. D'Angelo, he was good despite the bug, the bumblebee that is CP3. Did he give him a bit of a sting today? That's a great question there from Jim Huggs, the senior of Tim Huggs there. A father and son basketball combination watching our show. Good to have them with us. Quarter three belongs to Prince before Reeves and Curry go toe-to-toe. Well, what is this Reeves and Curry going toe-to-toe? That's a question from Big Muns at Blocks Tons. Great shot. Name. Great call sign for a basketballer. No Gabe or Vando. Did the boys of summer quarter four get a dud call? They want to know there, says Big Fins at Stacks of Wins. And is there a new thing here? Some sort of a sense of comfort. In the past, you worried the Warriors were always going to run away with it. But now, is there something that we're relaxing with this team? It's something very new there. But what's going on with that, says Mick the Inca, who doubts Pelinka, one of our regulars. And look, there's a few Lakers fans who doubt Pelinka as well, but maybe this team is a little deeper, a little more comfortable. We'll find out. The Warriors, there was something special there with Steph Kuminga and Podziemski. Seems to be a good sort of a selection there. That's for Clayto at Clayton. He raises that question. All those questions and more coming up in the Larry Lakers, the dribbling chit chat. We'll dribble a little more chit chat about each of those. Now, LeBron, what about this early lunch? He actually wore an orange tracksuit, but it was so fresh after the game, we had to get him in this dark tracksuit. But third quarter, it was going so well. Let's have a look. The boys started out here, and it was a pretty close game, but red hot from three. Got away as the first quarter went on. The second quarter held a lead, and the third quarter went crazy. They got red hot. Taurean Prince, back to back to back, he was involved in plays. And you thought, well, this is the Taurean Prince quarter. Then all of a sudden, Austin Reeves gets in a little bit of a bump with Steph Curry, the great three-point shooter and great leader of the Golden State Warriors. And then they go up and down the court, each showing all these different skill sets. A little layup. First of all, I think it was Austin who got around Steph. He hit him a little bump on the right, and the fact he got around him, he thought he had him covered with the foul, but he popped it into the left-handed Austin, the man who's fresh back from the FIBA World Cup, was showing some of the skills that he presented for Steph's own coach, Steve Kerr. So what a surprise. There he was, bumped on the right. Steph thought he had him covered. The two golfers, both of them gun golfers, we'd love to see them go head-to-head on the golf. I believe there's a celebrity tournament at the end of the year. Steph won it this year. I think it's the Century Tournament. So maybe we'll see the two of them there. He claims he could be the best golfer in the NBA, but of course, Steph's actually won some tournaments to prove it. We'd love to see that, but back to the game. Stephen Curry, and our man Austin Reeves right here in that third quarter patch. Austin back down the court, up the other end. He gets called for a foul. Steph lures him in, jumps into him a little bit, but he had him in the air. Unlucky. Tech foul for Reaves. It's cost him 3 points. Goes down the other end in frustration. Little turn and straight to the basket for a massive dunk, surprising everybody. But so good was the lead. The team coming together in the third quarter. Lebron, he didn't even have to come back on. He'd had the shower around the half time, running into the third quarter. And LeBron, he was still good, but he was able to have a little rest early thanks to the efforts of this team. Let's have a look at it. The starters here, interesting mix. Davis, Prince, LeBron James, D. Russell, Austin Reaves. So didn't have the problem of deciding Gabe Vincent, who played so well last game. What do we do with Gabe? Well, he had a rest this game, so that was all right there. Pretty strong lineup from the Warriors as well, albeit missing Austin Reaves. So that solves that problem, as we said before, in the first game of the preseason where they played the Lakers up there at the Golden State. What about playing Chris Paul? He's always been a starter. Well, he got to start anyway, and he got to start again today. But Davis still looking good. Did he continue a few more minutes? You'll notice we're building up the minutes. The coach Darlingham, the genius, and I'd say that conditioning that guys want to get as professionals, they're warming up. Not great on the points, but on the percentages on the points. 3 of 8, but 22 minutes, 1 of 2 from 3. Has he found a corner three-pointer? He's done it the last 2 games, and they've looked good. 6 of 7, we love seeing that from the free throws. He was our free throw man in that 2020 championship. He was the guy you could rely on. Suddenly it went away the last couple of years. It got a bit shaky. Couple of games during last year, the first half, he missed the free throws where we could have won them, and it looked like we might miss the playoffs by a game. Suddenly those free throws from Davis, looking all the more important. Defensive rebounds, total rebounds, not a lot on the offense. He's got 6 rebounds, 4 assists is lovely to see. So that mixing up that all-round game with the three-pointer, the rebounds, the assist. He looked like a giant out there at times. I guess the Warriors missing centre if Looney went off there. Plus 14 though with 13 points. You can see the impact he's had. LeBron James, as we said for the early lunch, unfortunately, he was a -9, but he extended his minutes a bit and did play with the bench a couple of times there. So 18 minutes, a few more than last time. We've got the field goals, 4 of 8, 1 of 3 on the three-pointers, and didn't he love it when he hit it and pointing to the crowd. A bit dusty on the free throws. LeBron, we'd like to get those, mate. He used to be better than 3 of 6. Just the 2 rebounds, 5 assists though. You can see he was just knew where people were. A little bit of rusty though, and the rust shown here by the 2 turnovers to the 5 assist ratio there. -9 also showing a little bit of dust on his real plus-minus. D'Angelo train. D'Angelo, don't go. We said it in the first show. We said it on the second, the third, and we're going to say it again on the fourth. For the folks who wanted to trade D'Angelo, he didn't quite shoot as well today, but there was still something sparkling about this guy's game. Look at this. 5 of 8 from the field goals, 2 of 4 in the three-pointers, still going at a top clip. Had a few turnovers today. Got the Bumblebee, the CP Bumblebee, the Chris Paul, stung him a few times, gave him a few little bumps. He had the turnovers. He thought he might have gotten a call, and didn't occur at least a couple of times in a row. Chris Paul was really starting to nudge him as he can, and he got into his head a little bit there. It was good to see a bit of competition because he's had it his own way a little bit in the first 3 games. So D'Angelo, good to see him. He rose to the competition against the other DO, the battle of the DOs, De'Aaron Fox and D'Angelo. They were both very good last game, and now with CP3, the little bit of the sting there. 5 assists, he racked them up quickly, and a couple of others there on the turnovers. One was a nice lob, and it was on, but it didn't quite come off there. It could have been a nice dunk. Well done, and an easy plus 14 to show how well he and Davis are going. The plus 14 for the 2 of those players there. Austin Reaves, we'll talk about him. Well, we've mentioned the duel there that they got into in LA and back at Crypto Stadium for the first time this season. 6 of 9, showing his skill. 1 of 2. And look at that reliability. He brought it through the FIBA World Cup. He brought it late last year in the playoffs, 3 of 3. This looks like a guy who can make those free throws, just as his arch nemesis today, Stephen Curry, can make a 3-pro, often a 90% guy. You'd like to see the two of them putting, given the free throws. It might be interesting there. 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Austin Reaves, a nice little game there, evenly balanced because he played with a fair bit of the bench as well, but 0 neutral, real plus minus there. Let's have a look at the others. Now, one of the men we have to give a good mention to here is Taurean Prince. Taurean Prince, he was part of this third quarter. At one stage there, he had only missed 1 or 2 shots. He really had it going, and I think he had like 17 points going into the third quarter. We'll get the stats for you in a minute, but he was part of this gap, as you see here in the game flow, where he'd got a couple of baskets back to back, and he's looking for that 3. He's looking to be our sort of Kuminga, I guess, a bit older, maybe not quite as athletic on those dunks, but he's looking good defensively, and he's looking good, and he had nowhere near the number of fouls today as he did, funnily enough, in the first game. It was against the very same team, the Warriors, where he got fouled off in very quick time there with 6 fouls. He got 5 the next game. He's getting to position a lot better, but it's good to see he's aggressive enough to get to those spots. He wants to be involved and get a name for himself with Coach Ham in terms of playing defense, but he's hitting those threes. Again, another player looks good on corner threes, but he hit a corner and straight away he pulled up and hit one from the 45-degree angle. So he's more than just a corner 3 man, this Taurean Prince. This was the duel in the third quarter. These two guys up and down. It was special. Eventually, Darvin Ham took Austin Reaves off to cool off, but a little playing with a little more chip on his shoulder. He feels he's an established player now in the league. It's not just Stephen Curry and the guys that sort of should be getting the calls because they're legends of the game. Austin expects a little bit of respect himself. It was interesting. What do viewers think? Comment below. Did he get a little bit of fire in him today? It's only a pre-season game, Austin, but lovely to see that spark. All the Laker fans, it'll be interesting to see if that's the sort of thing we like. I was interested to see it and see that he had a bit of that bit of the attitude going today, Austin Reaves, and came back with that dunk against Steph after he got the tech foul. What a way to answer back. Interesting. Steph sort of the sniper with the 3. Reaves had the 3, but got it to the hoop today a couple of times, and really I love to see that little bit of competitiveness. Moving on to this duel, D'Angelo Russell and Chris Paul. We mentioned it in the opening. Chris Paul got up and under him, bumped him out of bounds once or twice, didn't get the call, but each time, again, like Austin, he rose to answer or respond and sort of counter-punch, did D'Angelo. So that's the sort of stuff we need from D'Angelo. I think people before have thought, as it comes to the playoffs, this guy, he's got a finesse game. Is there any steeliness to him? Well, this game and last game, he's shown a little bit of a matchup steeliness there with De'Aaron Fox last game, Chris Paul this game. And in both games, he snuck up from behind players and got blocks from behind. He's thought to be pretty slack in defense, but in both games, last game and this game, snuck in, blocks from behind, something going on here. Is this a turning point for D'Angelo Russell? I'll be interested to see your thoughts. Can he keep it going? And if the 3-pointer doesn't drop like it did today at 50%, fairly small sample, will he find other ways to win games for the Lakers? Can he get to the rack a couple of times a day? Last couple of games, he's done one where he sneaks through with that sort of left hand, was very deceptive, and he's got to change of speed, like my coaches used to say, from slow to slower. But he's got to change of speed where he slips through under the basket and does one of those Lebron sort of 180 turns in the air, but the LeBron's further out to the edge of the key and it's a jumper. His is in close and it's a little, almost a lay-in, just a little bit further than a lay-in, but it's a real on a dime 180 spin, and he pops it back in. And of course, with that elusiveness that he's got, that sleek sort of finesse, it's working for him. He's done it a couple of times, and then out towards the edge of the key, it looks like almost he's going to pass it. He just does enough to keep the defence in two minds. It's not much more than a set shot. He hardly gets in the air, but it's a nice little shot, edge of the keys hit. So can he bring those things into the game when the three-pointer, as it wasn't against Denver, or he wasn't in the game, can he mix it up with these other parts to keep him to be a valuable player? And he'll be worth much more than that $18 million he's on now for renegotiating a contract. Hopefully the Lakers, the way he's going, I bet the Lakers would love to keep him. But I think it's a player option for next year for D'Angelo. Having a quick look at the percentages there, the field goals, you can see them there. You've probably been looking at them while I'm talking, but it was pretty even, believe it or not. And the three-pointers against the famous Warriors, I'd love to see this happen all year, where the Lakers can hit 44 against the great three-point shooting team, the Warriors, 41. Now, that is sensational. I hope we can keep that up. Turnovers, again, we were able to get the better of them. In the turnovers there, rebounds pretty close. We were just two behind. Hey, now what happened on the bench? Rui. What a game here. What a start to the season so much. I think he's had some awesome playoff games as he did last year. He turned up his three-point shooting from Rui. But 19 minutes today, get him off coach. He's a positive 11 in the real plus minus. Just the 8 points, 2 or 5, a little dustier, pushing up a few field goals today. 1 or 2 though, a nice 50%, not a big sample again. And pretty reliable from the free throw at 3 of 4. Defensive rebounds, you could probably get a bit more. He has been a very good rebounder of late. It's almost been like playing two bigs, even if we just get one of the centres on, like Christian Wood, who's been playing a fair bit of small forward as two bigs. 1 assist, we're probably never going to get a lot of assists there from Rui, but again, plus 11, have a look at that off the bench. There's not much else happening like that. The plus 14 are Davis and Russell and Rui, so they've been good. Plus 5 there for Taurean Prince, who we said was good as well. Christian Wood, did he have a better game? One of the questions highlighted at the start. Yes. Not a very big number of minutes, but despite that, I really think this was his best game. I mean, it's not what the stats say necessarily, but to the eye test, I think today was probably Christian Wood's best game, and maybe this is a better way to play him, a shorter amounts of time, even though he's used to being one of the sort of stars on the teams until he got to the Mavs, and it didn't quite work out there, but he's used to getting a fair bit of the ball at Houston and Detroit. But 13 minutes, 5 of 8. Be happy with that any time. I mean, this is a guy that was used to scoring 18 points a game and got 13 this game. He's been averaging 18 and 8 rebounds. Now, wouldn't you love to have that every game? But I'm okay if the percentages, the effectiveness is better and it's a shorter amount of time, particularly on this team. But albeit -4, he's playing with a fair few bench players. Pretty good percentage from the free throw. What was nice was the mix of his rebounds. 7 rebounds. You'd take that in 13 minutes all day. 13 points and 7 rebounds. Love it. Let's have that all the time. But the mix of them, 4 defensive rebounds and 3 offenses. He was chasing it. He was getting into good position today. Looked a little bit like we're going to have to help him improve through contact, but wasn't forcing the ball as much as he was third quarter in other games, perhaps because it was the Prince Reaves-Curry show. Maybe he didn't get to force it in the third quarter the way he had, and those minutes cut back. Maybe Darvin Ham's listening and saying, well, I'll reduce his time third quarter so he can't get on there. He's probably been watching the show, Darvin. Rightio, moving on to the next question that we've got here. It's the one about the Boys of Summer. So meaning the Boys of Summer League. How did they go? Did they get a run today? Last game, Coach Ham confident enough to put those young men on all fourth quarter, albeit with Max Christie, who was a second-year player, but was a Summer League player for the Lakers, and so had an affinity with those guys and was classy in Summer League. We'll talk about that another time. But how did these guys go? Coach Ham did it again. Confidence builder. The Warriors, though, they'd always leave two veterans out there like Gary Payton and Kuminga with three young players. So this was interesting to put those guys on. The lead crushed in on them. They had put a rush on them, the Warriors. Short shorts were back. That's one of the questions that came up. Maxwell Lewis was in the lineup, yes, with the boys of summer, and yes, short shorts were back. Great athlete, didn't quite have the scoring impact he had the game before, but Maxwell Lewis, one of the players to watch this year, an excitement machine. And as I said, if I was that athletic, I'd be wearing the short shorts myself. But he seems to be the only one at this stage. It doesn't look like the rest of the Lakers have picked up on it. But this was the lineup, the real first-year players, the Maxwell Lewis, the Jalen Hood-Schifino, the Alex Farge, the Demoy Hodge, and the Colin Castleton. So not even a second-year player there. As we said, the Warriors, and even when they took Kuminga off, Moses Moody's come on. So pretty tough lineup, and these guys pushed in the Warriors, but once they took the lead, these guys countered and got it back. Schifino looked like he might not make many shots, but he looked like he could run a game at least, bring the ball up, take the defensive hits on the hip, control the ball, zip in close, and get a little feed. He got one to Colin Castleton, was a beauty. And the boys there, let's see how they went. Hodge, he was much improved. He didn't have a great game last time, but again, the defense got a couple of steals, got the pass away. He looks an interesting player defensively. I'd love to see if he could get a bit of a mix. You can only fit so many of these players on at once. There's only a few bits of time left, or a couple of games left in the preseason. So if we ever see Hodge, mix it with the top guys. Plus, we guard heavy with Vincent and Russell and Reeves. It's pretty hard to get guys on there, but I'd love to see Hodge get a bit of a go. But Colin Castleton, what a block he got there as well. Max Christie was good through the game, a little bit dusty on his shots, but classy looking player once again. Jackson Hayes got just the 11 minutes tonight. Still looked handy. It looked like maybe tonight it's great. What a great luxury to have with the two of them, with Wood as well. And Maxwell Lewis, there it is, didn't quite get it going the way he had before. 0 from 2. The short shorts are still there though. The 3 assists was nice for Lewis, minus 14. A guy who's willing to share the ball, as we've seen through Summer League there. Colin Castleton, as we said, needs that little shot from the key. We'll talk about that in a minute. Here he is, Colin Castleton. He's got this little push shot from just outside the restricted area. Missed a sitter today, but it looks like it could be a weapon if he can just get some consistency with it, because people seem to think he's going to go to the rack, and there's just a little bit of space mid-key for him. If he could land those and then maybe work out to an edge of the key, he could be a player. Looked like he needs a little bit through contact, but he is such a good team player. And he was part of this run when you look at this game flow where they were swamped by the Warriors, and then this little sneak back there in that fourth quarter. It was really nice to see, and it was lovely to see the main players hop off the bench to support their team. Lebron and everyone's up all the time, especially with the block. Castleton, when they looked like they were going to get a layup. There's guys there, the great Dale Davis's son there, Jackson Davis, playing too for the Warriors. So some good blocks there, and Podziemski, he's the rookie there, playing here against Hood-Schifino, that is the standout for this team. I'm sorry to say, though, poor old Hood-Schifino, when we said he hasn't got many shots, he was robbed this game. I think he was robbed. There was a call down the line. The Dale Davis that we just talked about, his son, Jackson Davis, he clipped him on the shoulder and the head, and the camera from above showed it. I don't know what camera they were looking at over on the replay center, but if you looked at the camera from above, to me, see what people think, I thought it was a foul, and maybe Hood-Schifino hadn't shot many shots, would have been our prayer. We would have had the chance to see if he could at least hit one from the free throw line. I thought he was robbed, and that could have been the game there for the baby Lakers. The Golden State Warriors, just to pay respect to the opposition there, this is an indication of how well the Lakers started there. Looney, a minus in his real plus minus there. Wiggins, a little bit dusty, still looks athletic. He pushed Davis a few times on the fouls. 4 of 11 at the field goals. 1 of 5 on his three-pointers. That's gone missing. -8 there. Chris Paul, despite him giving a few nudges, and the guy people forget, he suits the Warriors to one extent. He can hit a three from time to time. Doesn't need to take a lot of them, but he'll keep the defense honest. Today he got 2 from 3 and 4 assists. He's still good at setting the play up, and that'll be useful for them when Curry's not on those minutes where they've usually been slaughtered. How about Curry from the free throw line? 100%. That's why we need him in the putting competition. He and Reaves, 2 of 4 from three-point land. And but a -6 there. This is how well the Lakers were playing. Couple of three-pointers. Good to see Klay Thompson maybe getting back into some form, as long as it's not against the Lakers, please. What's coming up next? I was going to tell you there, 10 assists there. He threatened a triple-double, did Podziemski, and what a good game Kuminga had. Now, we want to move on, though, or you'll never finish. You've probably got things to do, so let's have a go at this. LeBron, he got the early lunch today. What's coming up next for LeBron? Will he get another early lunch because the team's going so well? October the 15th, so just in 2 days. A rest day tomorrow. The day after that, 5 p.m. there, the Bucks. It's a backup game at Crypto. So I don't know if the big LeBron will play again in those games, whether he could put that together and have a 6-day rest, because it's another 4 days then to the game against Phoenix, down in the old Frank Sinatra town, Palm Springs. I think he had a house there for quite a while. So get down to Palm Springs for October the 19th. Get out and see Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo hasn't always been playing. Most of these teams resting their stars, but there's the potential there to see, maybe you'll see Damian Lillard get in there and see that some quality, new look lineups from both of these teams. Milwaukee, I'd be really interested to see the lineup of that Phoenix Suns. Maybe they'll fox each other and keep some of their gunpowder dry and not play all their stars. But there's so many stars in both teams. Some will have to play, and I look forward to seeing that. So until next time, please subscribe, comment and share. Go over and have a look at the podcast. You've been watching the Larry Lakers. Thanks for all those questions you've sent in on the larrylakers@gmail.com. You can also put them in your comments. We're on all the good podcast places, but most of all right now we're on the Lakers for preseason. Something special's happening, because normally I'd be panicked that the Warriors are about to have one of their third quarters and blow us out of the water. Instead, you always felt like the game was under the Lakers' control this time, and it was us that were the Lakers were the team that was going to stretch out and run away from the Warriors. That's a different feeling. Hopefully that continues. Until next time, stay safe, stay fit and healthy. I've enjoyed the Lakers. Until then, thank you.